In this question, you will be asked to give your opinion about a familiar topic. After you hear the question, you will have 15 seconds to prepare your response and 45 seconds to speak.
Some people prefer to work in their professional fields but with a low pay. Other people prefer to work in the not so professional field but the pay is high. Which do you prefer? Explain why.
Begin to prepare your response after the beep. Begin speaking after the beep.
I prefer to work in my professional field but with a low pay because it is my interesting field. I would really like to enjoy it for my work. Take me for example, I major in computer engineering in my college. That take many interesting for me, so I prefer to doing the work like computer engineering workers. That's all.
Number 2. In this question, you will read a short passage about a campus situation and then listen to a talk on the same topic. You will then answer a question using information from both the reading passage and the talk. After the question, you will have 30 seconds to prepare your response and 60 seconds to speak. Read the article from a university newspaper. You will have 50 seconds to read the article. Begin reading now. Now listen to a conversation between two students.
Hey Sue, did you see this article?
Yeah, I did. I don't think that's a very good idea.
Really? You don't think it's a safety hazard, like they said?
No, at least not during the day. I'm pretty sure both of those accidents happened at night when it's harder to see cyclists. They didn't say that in the article.
Oh, that does make a difference.
Sure it does. Maybe at night with low visibility there's a safety hazard. But I don't think there's any danger in the daytime, which is when most people need to move around and get to classes.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Besides, it's such a big campus. If they do this, it's going to be really hard to get around.
Well, we could always take the bus, I guess.
But the buses only run once an hour.
That's true. They're not very convenient.
No, not at all. If people have to take the bus, we'll end up sitting around waiting for the next one all the time. And we're all too busy to waste our time doing that.
The woman expresses her opinion of the proposed policy change. State her opinion and explain the reason she gives for holding that opinion.
Begin to prepare your response after the beep. Begin speaking after the beep.
The lecture says the college will prohibit bicycle on campus. The university will not allow the use of bicycle. The woman disagreed the policy for two reasons. One of it is the minor accidents have resulted in. She thinks it is not a good policy because most people need it to class. On the other hand, the woman disagreed that the prohibition of bicycle to get a free campus bus system. He thinks that bus without every next time during the class, so it is not convenient.
Number 3. In this question, you will read a short passage on an academic subject and then listen to a talk on the same topic. You will then answer a question using information from both the reading passage and the talk. After the question, you will have 30 seconds to prepare your response and 60 seconds to speak.
Read a passage from a biology textbook. You will have 50 seconds to read the passage. Begin reading now.
My personal section, traveling when I went to the was pleasant because I very not that I have never novel my whole life and watched my videos and stuff that she was very smart. The animal also have her teachers to not the passengers. However, for example, when I traveled to Japan last summer because I was very happy about it. Provided by airline. Also, your service was very good. Above therefore, I that only year when I traveled. That's short. I don't personally. I think that I already realized a comfortable when you join the vacation when you travel and stay away from the sun.
Now, listen to part of a lecture in a biology class.
Okay, so scientists have observed this phenomenon with quite a few different kinds of birds. For example, you see this with the bird, a bright red bird, commonly known as the cardinal. Cardinals live in trees and other vegetation on the edge of the forest. And during their breeding season, they kind of claim a specific area of the forest as their own. That's their territory, and the food there belongs to them. And they try to keep other cardinals away from this area. Okay. Now, each cardinal has a unique call or song that it sings. And if a cardinal hears one of these songs, it knows that another cardinal is nearby. And researchers have observed that when a cardinal hears an unfamiliar song, the song of another cardinal that it's never heard before, it'll become aggressive. It'll threaten the other cardinal, try to chase it away out of its area of the forest. But what's interesting is, when a cardinal hears a familiar song, the song of another cardinal that's established a territory nearby in the same part of the forest, it won't bother to attack or chase the other cardinal away.
Explain how the example in the lecture illustrates the concept of the deer enemy effect.
Begin to prepare your response after the beep. Begin speaking after the beep.
In the lecture, the professor says in the biology textbook, it says the deer enemy effect will eliminate competition for resources, animal development territory. The one factor is, it takes two factors. One factor is become aggressive and attempt. Animals with different kind of bird. He take the example. It's carnival and it's very territory. And the other factor, the professor mentions that the two animals of the same species live in neighboring territories. He says that it's search of serve, and he never heard before from comedian.
Number 4. In this question, you will listen to a short lecture. You will then be asked to summarize important information from the lecture. After you hear the question, you will have 20 seconds to prepare your response and listen to part of a lecture in a sociology class.
People sometimes have disagreements or conflicts that they need to resolve. Since it's not always easy for the two people who disagree to find a solution by themselves, sometimes it's necessary to get help from a third person who's not involved in the conflict. Let's talk about 2 ways a third person can help resolve conflicts: mediation and arbitration. So, the first way an outside person can help resolve conflicts is through mediation. The outside person works with both people in the conflict to come up with something they can both agree to. With mediation, everyone works together to reach a compromise. For example, if you have 2 roommates who have a disagreement and they can't come up with a solution themselves, then mediation would involve them asking someone like, say, a mutual friend. The friend would talk to both roommates and help them reach a compromise to solve the disagreement. Thus, the friend helps them reach the agreement together. The other option is arbitration. With arbitration, the third person listens to both sides of the story and then makes a decision. Both disagreeing parties have to go along with that decision. Usually one person wins and the other one loses, but it's the third person, the one who decides, who's in control. For example, say those 2 roommates who are having a conflict, say they take their case to court. They both go to court and tell the judge their side, their argument. After the judge hears what both people have to say, he or she decides what will be done. Probably the judge will agree with one of the roommates and disagree with the other. And that's final. Both roommates must do what the judge says, whether they agree or not.
Using the example from the professor's lecture, explain how mediation and arbitration are used to resolve conflicts.
Begin to prepare your response after the beep. Begin speaking after the beep.
In the lecture, the professor talks about the social class. He finds solution to the both sides with friends. He mentioned 2 ways, and one way is mediation. The outside agree to both sides. It can come up with the material friends and help together. The other factor is architecture. It listens to both sides. It comes up with the one wins and the other loses the game. Who can control themselves? And both intelligent. Is disagree that thing. It can make the both sides with friends.
好，时间到。哎，好，请暂停。